Okay, I'm just jumping right in this boom, 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 boom before my battery goes dead. But hopefully the sound is good on all these. Um, just a quick comment on my humor, as it were, or that of my children or whatever. And I get from a lot of people, friends. Don't get me wrong, I'm not that funny, but I guess some people say that I have the reputation for being funny. I don't know if that's true, but I get the question sometimes, or maybe I just offered the information. When, as a, when in your past did you first know that you're funny or get addicted to making people laugh? And the memory that came to mind was this. And I was playing Little League Baseball. I must have been, I don't know, first or second year of Little League Baseball. It's what you start at age 10 or something, or around that age, I don't know. I was just one of the smallest on the team. But I remember that I was in the dugout or something, and we were watching the team practice or something, and somebody would make a flub, drop a fly ball, or drop an easy play, or really screw up an easy play. And I would say, with a whistling lisp, which I can't do very good right now because of my health issues, but I would say, sad. That's so sad. I just use the word sad in a way that these people probably have never heard, and with a very essy whistling S on that. I can't do it right now, but oh my heavens, these older baseball players on my team, it would crack them up. It would crack them up so much. I thought, oh wow, I kind of like this making people laugh thing. And so that was probably the beginning of it. And then, and then I remember growing up in my early teens, almost every night watching Johnny Carson before I went to bed. And my parents were pretty good about that. Johnny Carson, I don't think came on till after the news, which ended at 10:30, and it was a 1.5 hour show back then. And he always had the comics on it, and they were my favorite. Oh my heavens! Some of them I remember. David Renner. Uh, oh, David Brenner. The guy. What's his name? That. Oh, of course. Jonathan Winters and Ed Skelton, and then the guy that always do funny accents. Oh, kind of intelligent. Uh, yeah, of course, George Carlin, but this guy was from back east from New York. He was had a New York accent, and I can't remember his name right now. But he'd always do very intelligent and accents and words, talk about words, and I used to love, just soak up all these um, comics. And then in later years with Dana Carvey and SNL and I wasn't that crazy into Robin Williams. Oh, Seinfeld. I was always into Seinfeld. Conan is one of my favorites, and I think he's one of the funniest people alive. Just a funny, natural. And with Conan, I don't know. He may have some stand-up comedy where he does actually bits that he's written, but most of the comedy I know of his is just off the cuff, funny things that come to him, and that has kind of been my style, I guess, if you could say I had a style. And then as I learned Japanese, um, I guess I kind of had the same knack because my sister, who doesn't understand Japanese, would see me. We go to a restaurant that we know, and we know the owners, and they come out and say hello to us. and everyone's laughing. And my sister says, "Why is everybody laughing? How are you making these people laugh?" And I don't know. I just say funny things. But then I think about my daughters. Well, my wife can be very very funny too, and so they get it from both me and her. But my kids, oh my heavens, their humor is can be annoying because they'll just get a catchphrase, and for a week, that's all they're screaming out throughout the house. It's this catchphrase, just you know, constantly saying it and annoying everybody. And then at some point, you just have to start laughing because it's just so ridiculous. And then, oh, they're one word rebuttals and or use of a strategically placed swear word or um, and then my oldest daughter is just sometimes just totally outlandish dancing and whatnot, and sometimes vulgar stuff. But anyways, so I guess you could say everyone in our family practically, yeah, just loves to laugh and loves humor, and I think we have a good sense of humor. But uh, oh, and then this is one comment. Why do other people laugh at it? It's not that it's that funny, at least from our perspective, it's not that funny. But I think my youngest daughter said this the other day that most people just aren't funny. They don't seem to have a funny bone or a sense of humor. So when we come out with anything, however low quality the humor is, it just cracks them up because they're not used to hearing it in their own families. I don't know if that's true, but so that is some of my thoughts on humor. Oh, it's just an important part of my life. Recently, Nate Bargatze, I just can't get enough of this guy. His SNL skits, his Emmys opening skit, his uh, opening monologue, or his Netflix specials. And I think I've heard every joke he's ever said, at least, you know, I don't know if that's completely true, but lately I've been listening to it and putting on an hour show on YouTube and trying to go through every video he's ever posted. But I've heard most of it. But like every night, there'll like be one or two new jokes that I hadn't heard before. And it just cracks me up. I just love his delivery and his deadpan. It's just his down to earthness and the way he views the world. It reminds me of the way I see things. It's just so, and maybe that's the secret to his popularity. He just says so many things that are so relatable. Uh, uh, that one Canadian's name who I was trying to think of was Bob something. Not Bob Newhart. Oh, well, Bob Newhart as well, but I'm not an expert on Bob Newhart as much. But what was this guy? His wife was like an opera singer, New York guy. Robert Klein. That was it. Robert Klein. Robert Klein. Oh my heavens. Oh yeah, I used to love Robert Klein. It's kind of very kind of intellectual humor. I just loved it. But anyways, all right, that's enough on humor. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much. Bye bye.